Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel, Destiny Manifeste. Lil Nas X actually came out with a really interesting video, and we just noticed many interesting choices that they chose to make artistically, costume choices, symbolism that they used to pass up this opportunity on really exposing some of the messages that are being thrown right in our faces. We can't say that these are hidden. These are really just in your face. So, yeah, we want to actually break down some of it today. By no means is this, the end all be all. These are just some stuff that we noticed. And of course, it's open to interpretation as well. So I'm going to go ahead and play some of the video, or at least put up some screenshots for you guys. I don't want to get this copyright stricken or anything like that. But without further ado, let's get into it. I forgot to mention this is for entertainment purposes only, so don't take this seriously by any account, just a disclaimer. So the first scene that we see, it's of this beautiful place. It looks almost like a paradise. There's a river running through it. There's greenery. Well, not really greenery, it's actually purple. There's like beautiful flowers everywhere and trees. And then afterwards, the scene kind of pans into a snake traveling towards Lil Nas X, who is under a tree playing music. It pans to him. He's with a guitar. Him playing a guitar, something that you have to tune. It shows him being in tune. He's in tune with everything around him, with the nature around him, with the natural world. He's at peace. He's smiling. He's staring into the sky. So you see this snake-like being slowly traveling down the tree as it transforms from a real snake to a snake-like, almost alien being with 3 eyes. And this, in conjunction with the fact that there is this planet, this lone planet in the background in the sky, represents this bloodline, this different bloodline from that of Nas X. And we'll get into that. Anyone who has seen this video knows that this is the imagery of the creation story in Christian text. It's the tree, it's the snake, it's the man or woman, if you want to say. They reveal that it's not a god as we understand it, as we kind of want to call it, that has come upon this Adam or Eve archetype, whichever one you want to go with. It's an alien being. That above is that planet that is above the earth. It's not a supreme being, it's just an alien. But as this being comes down the tree, it speaks to Lil Nas X and he begins to run. And that's really interesting because there's that first tree that Lil Nas X was underneath. And in the creation story that we know, there's 2 trees, the tree of knowledge and the tree of life. And these trees are really just representative of what was basically forbidden by these beings from the sky, by the quote-unquote gods, but really by these alien custodial beings. It represents the knowledge that was forbidden to humanity by these custodial beings. They didn't want human beings to be in possession of the information either from the tree of knowledge or the tree of life. And then, as we know, the traditional creation story goes that when Eve and Adam, when they partake of the tree of knowledge, then God becomes angered and casts them out. And around the second tree, there's a revolving blade of flames so they'll never be able to attain the fruit of that tree or the knowledge of that tree. When you actually see Lil Nas X running away from the first tree after being told the information from the snake, he runs past the second tree that looks at him, but he doesn't sit under that tree. He doesn't partake of that tree. He doesn't get the chance to partake of that knowledge. The knowledge of the first tree, the tree of knowledge, is knowledge of ethics and morals. The knowledge of the second tree is actually the knowledge of basically the integrity of your spirituality while in a material form, or immortality. And in this way, like the custodial beings, these alien gods, Anunnaki, whatever you want to call them, they never wanted humanity to be able to have the spiritual knowledge of self or the knowledge of immortality. The snake comes upon Lil Nas X again. This time the snake mates with him. The gods were said to mate with man and create offspring here on this planet, and that's in many texts. Now, if somebody can tell me what that symbolism meant, that inscription on the tree, but it's really interesting because on the bark or a tree, it can also represent a family line or a lineage, your family tree, your roots. All of that it kind of harkens to bloodlines, to someone's family tree. You see somebody in blue, they have the big curly wig. Who does that remind you of? Anyways, they have these high collars. Interesting, Jay had mentioned the blue bloods being the quote-unquote royalty. These are people descended from these original bloodlines of like a lineage of both human and an extraterrestrial being. The lamb, Lil Nas X is in pink. He's wearing the pink wig. He has the pink furs. He has the ram on his belt. The pink or red contrasts the blue due to bloodline. The pink represents mammals, a mammalian bloodline. Mammalian blood would also be the lamb or the ram. He's being represented as a sacrifice here with the symbolism of the lamb or the ram. Moving on. So he's brought to something like, not quite, but something like an altar, an offering block, whatever you want to call it, where you'd offer up a human sacrifice. The blue bloods are watching from on high. You see the common folk in the background, and they look cast in stone. And actually, you guys need to read this book if you get the chance, The Gods of Eden by William Bramley. But I just want to read an excerpt from page 43 because I felt like it really matched what we're seeing here in this scene on minute 140. So it says, in the clay, God, or a spiritual entity, and man, the physical body of Homo sapiens, shall be bound to a unity brought together, so that to the end of days the flesh and the soul, which in a God have ripened, that soul in a blood kinship be bound. And so the custodial beings, or the gods, if you want to call them that, these extraterrestrials really, they knew that they needed to keep spiritual beings permanently attached to human bodies in order to animate those bodies and make them intelligent enough to perform their labors. You see that these are slaves. They have these collars around their neck in gold, and they're these stone or clay bodies that are animated, as you see here. So that's just really, really in-your-face imagery. It's not even hidden at this point. But let's go forward. And they're casting stones. They cast the stone at the lamb, the sacrificial lamb. And then you see that he's sacrificed. He's rising up. He's ascending. But above him is this archangel type being. You see the wings. It's flying above him. The archangel, or Archon, or Watcher, is watching from on high. After he's sacrificed, he doesn't ascend past the Archon. It's a guardian at the gates, basically. It won't let him ascend to a higher realm. It's kind of just standing at the gates and making sure that he can't pass. His soul can't escape. And then you see the pole appear, and then he slides back down into what would look to be hell. So it kind of pans into this Baphomet type of being. He's just sitting on a kind of throne. And you see that from the time of like the beginning of the video, he's in a space where it's purple and blue and just these high vibrational colors. They are to the right of the spectrum of light. And then you see when he descends into hell, or the lower vibrational levels of light. You can even think of it as chakras, the higher chakras to the lower chakras. He descends to the lowest frequency, he descends to the lowest chakra or the lowest dimension. And so he's in hell. And the Baphomet being, I mean, I don't know how religious people are who watch this. Just know that we're not religious. This devil, or, you know, Baphomet or whatever, it's not bad. It doesn't represent evil. The Baphomet actually represents the coming together of opposites, male and female, good and bad, just life and death, everything. Like, all these opposites exist in this one being. You see again the ram imagery coming through, with like the Baphomet head being like a ram head, the very same imagery that Lil Nas X had on that belt when he was sacrificed. So you see a similarity between them already. The Baphomet was just chilling on the chair, and then Lil Nas X comes in and kind of seduces the Baphomet, twerks on him, and then basically tricks him and gets rid of him to replace him. He takes his horns and adorns himself with them, and you see him transform, and he's almost kind of gained power or taken the place of the Baphomet being that was there before. Lil Nas X, his character, he never attacked any other creature or being that was seen in this video. They have him attack and get rid of a being that is so much like him. You know, you could imagine with that same imagery that this Baphomet type of being was probably in the same situation as Lil Nas X. And then afterwards, you know, he was just chilling on his chair. He wasn't doing anything. Like, the angel was the one who blocked him from ascension. The blue bloods are the ones who sacrificed him. The snake was the one who, you know, created these blue bloods by, you know, joining in with him and then subjugating him. And then the Baphomet was just chilling on his chair, and the Baphomet got ghosted. But anyway, so that's just thoughts on this video, or that's just kind of my thoughts on the imagery of this video. Just very, very interesting in-your-face stuff. I noticed in the comments section a bunch of people were saying like, oh, this is so creative and stuff like that, but they're kind of just telling you history. But anyway, and I wanted to make sure to add the imagery at the very end where it has the logo for Columbia Music or something. It has the Saturn symbol with the rings around it, and then and radiating from it, those frequencies. And then it also has that, you know, little Saturn cube, and I didn't want to miss that. This video was just to point out the stuff that we look for in videos. I don't know if you guys are interested in it. If you're not, then that's cool, and, you know, maybe we won't do it again. But if you are interested in these types of videos, maybe we'll do them again in the future. We just found it really, really interesting, the stuff that they put in your face. And yeah, I guess they have to tell you this stuff. So, oh, the timing that this came out too, because lots of Baphomet imagery, lots of ram imagery, lots of lamb imagery. Easter's coming up, the time of like the sacrificial lamb. It's Aries season. So all of this stuff really coincides. They do all this stuff on purpose. Everything is timed to perfection, basically. So yeah, that's about it. If you guys have anything that you want to add in the comment section below, please do. We always like look forward to hearing back from you guys and getting a different perspective. Yeah, this is just our interpretation. It's not anything set in stone or anything like that. So we'll see you guys in the next video, with that being said, and we look forward to what you guys think in the comments. And before I forget, I'm sorry, one last thing. Don't forget to like the video if you gained any insight from it. Engage with the video. It really helps us in the algorithm. And also subscribe to the channel.